Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Love to Live Healthy show. I'm Josephine Fitzpatrick, author of Cheat Day Rules and Shed the Pounds, both available on Amazon. I'm a weight loss nutrition specialist for over 15 years, and I work with thousands of clients all over the world. I own Innovation Healthy Market at 8025 Jericho Turnpike, Woodbury, New York, where for the last 12 years we sell hundreds of prepared meals and snacks. We are open to the public 7 days a week. You do not have to be a client to shop in our store. We have customers from all over Long Island visit our store every day, and we ship tri-state. We also offer free Long Island delivery every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and hand delivered in New York City every Tuesday. We are also on Uber Eats 7 days a week. So if you are looking to lose weight or just eat healthy, come and visit our store. Everything is made fresh daily, and we carry everything from high protein, low carb, gluten-free, sugar-free, plant-based, vegan, keto, and our famous detox. Someone is always available to help you at the store. They will hold your hand to help you get what you need. Don't hesitate to ask them when you walk in. For more information on the store, delivery, shopping, and weight loss, visit our website, innovationhealthymarket.com, or check out our Instagram at Innovation Weight Loss. Today I'm here with Jake Fitzpatrick. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning.
Jake, here's today's topic, but it's also a question for you. Are you living your best life, or are you just getting through the days?
We didn't talk about this. No. Okay. Wow. That's a good one. I think
you strive to live your best life.
Can you repeat it one more time?
Sure. Are you living your best life, or are you just getting through the days?
I think while I'm getting through each day, I'm trying to live my best life.
Good. That's good.
So,
okay.
Combination of both.
Yeah,
I feel like.
absolutely. I think it's really important.
Because sometimes I feel like you have days where you are just getting by, and sometimes you get halfway through a day and you're like, I just got to get to the next one.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's a good point, because that's really, I think, a big part of this is you don't want to do things in your life that are just getting you through the day, you know, because you'll look back and you'll be like, how many times do we do it? You look back and you're like, where'd the day go? Or, you know, where'd the week go? Where'd the month go? I can't believe it's September. I can't believe it's October, you know?
Yep.
And that's fine if you're really enjoying what you're doing and you're, you know, living your best life. But if you're not and you're just getting through them, you know, you're wasting your life each day.
Exactly. And also, too, there's a big difference between, like, what I like to call, like, the autopilot versus the present.
Right.
Like, you know, are you, like, actually enjoying where you are presently, and, like, rather than being, like, a passenger on your own life.
Right,
you know, like,
right, yeah.
Are you, like, every time that
Autopilot's dangerous, you know?
Autopilot's dangerous, because that's when you're just using the hand motions and eating everything, and you're not even thinking about what you're doing. Like, to tie into that, you know, it's like, are you actually, you know, like, do you ever really ask yourself, like, where you are at the moment, like, if you want to be there, you know? And it's like, well, you're the only person that controlled that outcome, you know?
Exactly,
so, like,
yeah. And did you just make that choice because you felt you were obligated to go, you know, but you really didn't want to be there? You know, it's all things like that. And, of course, we're not talking about, I know certain people have jobs that they're not happy in, but they have no choice but to stay. And if these are things that are the cases, just like when you're trying to lose weight, and you have to have a plan to get yourself out of the situation you're in.
Yep.
You know, if you're not happy, if you're not living your best life and you're not feeling, listen, every day is not, you know, rainbows and unicorns. I get that. But majority of your life, you should be happy.
Yeah. And you know what, too, is like, this is a big topic that I feel like a lot of people don't really take into consideration. Like, you know, there's, like, wanting yourself to be happy and living your best life. Like, the point is, that's a selfish thing. But selfish isn't always a bad thing.
No.
Like, people, I feel like, don't understand that. Like, selfish is not always a bad thing, because, like, sometimes being too selfless is a bad thing. Because when you're actually living your best life, that's a selfish thing to do, because you're living your own best life. But when you also want other people to be happy around you, that's also selfish, because that makes you feel good, you know?
So I don't think, I don't know if I'd call it selfish. I think it's more self-care. I think
I
you
would say
have
selfish.
to.
I feel like selfish has such a negative connotation around it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Like,
what's the actual definition of selfish?
It's a good question.
Because I think that's going to tell us a lot. Because my thought is, like, yes, of course you could be, it's selfish and it's a good thing sometimes, but What's the definition?
Well, it says of a person or motive lacking consideration for others or concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. But I think that can also be kind of tied in with like altruism. Like if you know, like altruism is really, you know, doing a deed or something like that where, you know, you don't actually do it for the outcome of profit. Like it's like a, you know, like charity, like that's an altruistic act.
Interesting.
But like I believe like the selfish that I'm talking about is like not in a negative form. It's like you're doing it for yourself. Like, oh, you're detoxing this week and oh, your family's going to be like, what am I having for dinner though? Like that's a selfish thing because you're doing it for yourself. You know, like
I don't agree with you.
I feel like you can't get past the selfish word.
Yeah, because it's not selfish. Because I always say, like, listen, if you're...
Well, it's not a bad thing.
It's not... It sounds like it's a bad thing. And when you read the definition, it's a bad thing.
Well, because everybody's...
You're making up your own meaning of selfish.
No, I'm just having a broader palette of mind. I'm trying to look at... I'm just looking at everything from a positive light.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean...
I think there would be a better word to fit there, though.
Probably, but, you know, I feel
only because this is what I'm saying. Like, when you...
Positive selfishness. How about that? Yeah.
Well, I know what you're saying. You're saying, like, you may feel it's selfish, which people do. When I tell people you have to put yourself first and you have to do it for yourself, that sounds like you have to be selfish. But the real truth is you're not being selfish, because if you're not happy and you don't feel good in your body, in your mind, in yourself, everyone around you is going to suffer.
Yeah.
You know, if you're miserable because of the way you look or because you're not taking care of yourself, I'm going to suffer. Yeah. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Same thing with me. If I
don't take care of myself, it's also kind of selfish.
It's exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Because you're going to hurt the people around you.
But
so
see,
when
again,
I tell
that's
people,
like a negative kind of like.
But it is a negative, and it's supposed to be negative in that sense.
No, I know, but why don't you flip it and like make it a positive thing? That's what I'm saying.
It is. That's what I'm saying. It is positive in the fact that if you do take care of yourself, you're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for everyone that is around you.
Well, because
like, they're going to be happier because you're happier.
Say, for instance, like a hypothetical is like if you're a husband and you're not taking the best care of yourself. You know, you don't work out, you're not active, you're eating all the wrong things, and your family's watching you get overweight, your family's watching your health decline. That's a selfish act.
Absolutely.
Because your family's the ones that are looking at you, hoping that you change away. Meanwhile, if you actually get yourself in shape, if you actually start eating better, if you actually start taking accountability and responsibility, that's also a selfish act, but it's a positive light because you're doing it for yourself, for your own good health.
Right.
Well, not also, you might be doing it also because your family's worried about you, but ultimately, it's not a bad thing for it to be a selfish act. That's all I'm trying to say. Is like, it's actually good to be selfish sometimes.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
It's in a different mindset, though.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Like, when I go for my runs, like, I'll come home from work, and even if, like, Dad's waiting for me, I'm like, I got to go for my run.
Yeah.
That could be looked at as selfish. I got to do it. But he knows if I don't do it, I'm going to make him miserable.
Exactly.
So he's like, go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because I was just sitting all day at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's like, and the other thing, too, is, like, when we were just talking about that, like, it's such a big deal to make sure that you are doing these things in your life, because that's when you're going to lose yourself if you don't. You know, if you're not doing the things that are really, truly making you happy, whether it's weight loss, whether it's exercise, whether it's your career, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your anything, relationships, you're going to be miserable, and it's going to show to everyone, but they're going to feel it. It's not even about showing. They're going to feel it.
And also too, let me try to, because I'm.
Are you still in the selfish?
No, I'm committed to changing your mind. No, I'm being selfish right now, but I'm committed to changing your mind, because when you just hear me out, okay? Like, there's two forms. So when selfishness is bad and when selfishness is good. So when it's bad, it's usually at the expense of other people around you.
Right, makes sense.
So the choices that you're choosing to do are either harming or neglecting the people around you that you care about. It's either short-term indulgences, like, choosing comfort or laziness or not working out, not being mindful about what you're eating. that also affects others as well as yourself. And then always when you talk about selfishness or selflessness or self-care, the one part that's always involved in that is ego. And ego, again, has a negative connotation because, like, oh, you know, you have such a big ego. That's what everybody always thinks about. But ego is a real thing where everyone has an ego. Doesn't mean it's bad.
Right.
Everyone has one. So when it's ego-driven, selfishness is about kind of proving your superiority, and it breeds the isolation and the arrogance because you're going against everybody else.
Okay.
When it's positive, however, like the selfishness can actually, I would say, be called self-preservation because you're protecting your energy, you're using your time efficiently. You know, you have other people in your life that care about you, that you care about, but you're using your time efficiently to benefit yourself.
Right.
Meanwhile, like, you know, i.e. your runs, you know, like, well, where's mom? Oh, she's running. Oh, no problem. You know,
right.
You're not, you know, doing anything that would harm me. You know, you're not doing anything that would neglect me. You're bettering yourself, you know? So it's always growth focused when it's selfish in a positive way. And it's always, you know, you set boundaries. Like, you know, when you take care of yourself, you lead by example and encourage others to do the same. So is that a leadership? Like, would you be called a leader or are you selfish? It's both, you know, because it's not selfish in a negative way.
Right.
You're
selfish.
positively being a leader. And by being a leader, you're not following anybody. So isn't that considered selfish? Because you're doing what makes you happy.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I understand.
All right. Well,
I get
successful. But no,
Okay.
I mean, it's a deep idea, but it's like,
Well,
I feel like honestly, it's like, it's the difference between like what we were talking about before, like, you know, being on autopilot or being present with what you're actually doing. And it's, you know, a lot of the times I even feel like, honestly, like, I feel like a lot of the times, like when I know I'm doing the wrong thing, I go on like autopilot mode.
Right.
Because it's almost like you almost like wake up out of a trance and you're like, what am I doing right now? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I'll give you a good example for you, only because I know this about you.
Okay.
So you'll go to the gym like every day, and then like you'll have like a really long day at work. It's like middle to the end of the week, and you're exhausted. And instead of going home, because I'll be like, go home and catch up because you worked 7 days, you know, your hours are crazy, and you go to the gym, you don't get home until 10, 11 o'clock at night sometimes. But you'll go to the gym anyway and have a horrible workout. And you're like, while you're there, you're on autopilot. And you're like, I should have just went home and went to bed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's like what you're talking about with autopilot. It's something that you're doing just without thinking anymore.
Yeah.
And you're not getting anything really out of it.
Exactly. It's
mentally, physically, and this is everything. And anybody could be doing anything. And if you're just doing it, it's almost like if you walk every day and you're trying to walk for exercise, but you're on the phone strolling along every day, you're on autopilot. You're just going for that walk just to walk, and you're not getting anything out of it.
Yeah. Well, you know what this also in turn ties into as well as like the argument of like success, like feeling successful versus feeling actual fulfillment. You know, like.
That's a good one.
The analogy that I love is like you always hear people like or see people living their lives, and it's like, you know, they have a mansion, like a 6 or 7 bedroom, 5 bath, like full bath, but it's like, like one might call that success, but are you actually fulfilled? Because you walking through your house and you see like a painting on the wall, or, you know, your favorite couch that you used to love on and like that you used to lay on, and like you loved it and everything, and you're like, oh, I haven't seen that painting or seen that couch in, you know, 2 weeks because I'm walking around and I never walk down these halls or anything. And it's like,
right.
You know, I have all these things and I call this success, but are you actually fulfilled with it? Like, you know, such a big house, but like, you know, you don't actually ever use some of the hallways or walk through some of the doors. It's like, is that actually fulfillment? Or,
no,
you know, if you were in a smaller, cozier house, like, would you actually feel more fulfilled? You know what I mean? Like, so one of the things is like the idea of, you know, being fulfilled versus the idea of just having success to have success. It's like almost the same argument for like, you know, are you living your best life or are you just getting by?
Right.
Because if you have all the success, all the money in the world, but you're not actually happy with it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You know, it doesn't matter.
If you're just not happy. Yeah.
I mean.
And I want to just say when you just said that, because that's a really good point. But are you living your best life, or are you just getting through the days? And when I say that, my first thought is like everyone they just go from point A to point B. And I just did a video the other day, and I was saying, life is so short, and you don't realize how quickly things can be taken away from you, or your life ends, and there's no warning sometimes, and we just always tend to live sometimes like we have forever, and no one has forever. And I think that we have to learn what you said before, which I think is really important, to live in the present. Because when you live in the present, you just can't be living in the present. You have to appreciate what is in your present situation right now. Like what makes you happy? What doesn't make you happy? What brings you joy? What drains your energy? These are things you have to think about, because if you go through your day thinking, what brings me happiness? What brings me joy? And really, what drains me? What takes so much out of me that it makes me unhappy? You do that for a day, 2 days, a week, and you'll really realize how much you're doing that makes you unhappy. How many things that or people you're interacting with, or just things you're doing in your life that you're doing just to do them, or because you feel obligated, or like we said before, you're just on autopilot, but they're not making you happy. And we forget that we don't have forever. No one does. So you have to really think about your days and what can you do to make more of the day happy, joyful, and I think, even if you're in a job that you're miserable in, like, can you change something outside of the job that you look forward to right after the job? I think these are so important, because you really, we forget how important happiness is, because we're all so busy working, running, doing this, taking care of kids, trying to be in, good relationships, taking care of your home. There's so much, friends, there's so much, and you forget why you're even doing half the things. And that, to me, is just getting through the days. You're not even realizing what makes you happy and what doesn't make you happy anymore.
And one of my favorite quotes that I heard, somebody I love watching, he said that if you're in your same old life and you feel like you're not getting anywhere and you're just getting through the days, like, always remember that in order for there to be change, there has to be change. You can't change anything if you don't change anything.
Right, exactly.
So even if it's about your weight, and you're not going to, in order for there to be change, there has to be change. So in order for you to change your body and feel better, you need to change your eating, change your lifestyle, your habits, everything like that. But even if you're in like a job that you're not like the happiest with, like, you need to realize that it's not concrete forever. Like, you are able to leave if you want to leave. And I know it's harder than it sounds, but like, you are able to,
it might not be today, but
you are able to evaluate all your options. You are able to, like, just because you're in this job doesn't mean that you can't, ask for more hours. You can't ask for, a raise. You can't ask for things. It will never come to you if you don't actually pursue it, so that's...
You can go on interviews if you're unhappy.
Yeah, you can evaluate every option that you have. You can expand different avenues. You can...
I think there's always a choice. And like we said, like, some people, obviously you might not be able to make it right at that moment, but you can do things and set yourself up to make the change. Of course, change is hard, and people don't really like change, even if they are miserable, and that's a big thing. So, but I think one thing that's really helpful is focus on one thing that you want to change. Like, you might have 10, but if you focus on one thing and really put the work into that one thing and change it, once that's changed, then you can go to the next thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the moral of all this is realizing that having everything to you outwardly just by itself doesn't actually guarantee fulfillment. That's the difference. Like, having everything at a moment's notice, or just starting off with everything, is not good for your self-benefit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's nice to have, but you won't get that sense of fulfillment from it.
Right.
You know,
right.
there's a difference between that and, you know, just.
I think,
yeah,
I think it's good too. Like, you know, like I think what you're saying is to work for something, you know?
Yeah.
You have to really work for something to make it feel like it's your own, to make it feel like, you know,
exactly. Yeah.
you're accomplished in it, you
Mhm.
know? It's definitely, I mean, I, at the end of the day, I think that, you know, we have to really remember, we always say like we're grateful for things or we're, you know, we're happy but you have to really look at your own life. And this is something that has to be internal. It can't be someone doing it for you. You have to really look at yourself and say like, am I happy? And what am I not happy about? What's taking my time? What's draining my energy?
Yeah.
What is making me overjoyed? And you have to figure that out. And that's when you can change what you need to change, you know?
That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be your weight. It could be your job. It could be your relationship. It could be anything. It could be more than one thing.
Yeah.
That's why I say focus on one thing, the most important thing that's making you the most miserable, and focus on changing that first and then go to the next thing.
Agreed. And that's what I was trying to say.
And I think
before.
that will lead to living your best life.
Agreed. Yeah.
You know, that's why I say it might not be today.
Yeah.
Might be next week. It might be, you know, listen, we have people who have been on program for a year, and it's at the end of that year that they finally get it. They get everything together. They've lost their weight, but now they're exercising, and now they're feeling great on top of it, and they're strong. And, you know, but in the beginning, it's painful.
Yeah.
Painful to get through those little steps that you feel like you're really not making progress, even though you are. Think of that in your own life. Like, when you want to change something in the beginning, it may not feel like you're making a lot of progress. You may feel stuck, but if you keep focusing on that one thing and keep putting that work in, it will change. And you will get to that point where you feel like, okay, that's behind me.
Exactly. And that goes for every aspect of life. Like what you were talking about, that's what I was trying to explain before is like, you know, in order for there to be change, there needs to be change. And like you said, like, you know, almost evaluate your life. Like everything that you want in your life, keep. Everything that you don't want in your life, you know, kind of start to kind of, you know, distance yourself from. Whether it be, you know, an item like food, whether it be like actual people, you know, this is the reason why so many people end up in relationships that they don't want to be in. And then because they don't want to change anything because they're afraid of change, they stay. You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
so you kind
100%.
of, you enter yourself into these ruts, and sometimes it feels like the hardest thing in the world to get yourself out of it. But you realize only after then that it was the best thing that you ever did.
100%. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Well, we hope this helped.
Oh, yeah. what were we talking about? No.
Living your best life. I think we gave really good tips. You know, I think
I agree.
you know, just really going within and figuring out what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy.
Definitely.
Start
I
there.
think the biggest thing is remember it's okay to be selfish.
Yes.
Remember, do it for you.
Be selfish.
Do it for you.
Yeah.
Don't do it for anybody else.
And
don't do it because
when you do it for you, you're going to make everyone else happy.
Don't start running because your neighbor started running. Don't eat better because, you know, like, don't eat better because all the other dads at practice look more in shape than you do. Don't start eating better because all the other moms look better than, you know, or make, you know, you don't feel as good as they might feel. Don't do anything for anybody else. Always do it for yourself. And if you want to do it for yourself, it's okay to be selfish in that way.
Agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I got you to agree. All right.
I knew. I agree. This is what goes on in the office all the time. I agree with you.
Sorry, that was selfish of me. But anyway, please stop. Please remember, you can always stop in at Innovation at 8025 Jericho Turnpike, Woodbury, New York, or visit our website, Innovation Healthy Market, or call 516-802-5055. We are open 7 days a week, and we're always there to help you with your shopping, orders, weight loss needs. When you come in, ask for me, Jake. I'll be happy to show you around the store, or if you're looking for a one-on-one plan, I can make your first free consultation appointment with Josephine. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.